A former high school math teacher could get anywhere from probation to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty today to having sex with a student.
Aaron Brown resigned from Scarlet Oaks Vocational School after the allegations surfaced in the fall. Despite the guilty plea, the former educator will not have to register as a sex offender. Local 12 News reporter Jeff Hirsh joins us from the newsroom with why that is the case. Jeff?
Well, good evening. In most cases, someone who pleads guilty to sexual battery, that's a felony, has to register as a sex offender for the rest of his or her life, but not in this case. 37-year-old Aaron Brown entered a plea to count 1.
Guilty.
And to count 2.
Guilty.
Even though the 18-year-old student in question was legally an adult, Ohio law says teacher-student sex is a crime. But because it was a consensual relationship and the student is 18 or over, Brown will not have to register with the state as a sex offender. Registered offenders are required to report their addresses to the local sheriff. There have been a lot of news stories in recent years about teacher-student sex cases. In fact, when I was walking into the courtroom this morning, just a member of the public was going in at the same time, and she said to me, "What's going on?" I told her about a teacher-student sex case. She said, "What, another one?" Well, the question becomes this: is this really more common than it used to be, or are we just hearing more about it?
20, 30 years ago, there was no social media. If you want to talk about how rumors and things get picked up at schools now, I think social media documents some of this. And so each case obviously is different. I mean, whereas there might have been rumors 20, 30 years ago, now there's text messages, there's things to support it. So it gives investigators kind of a leg up on something like that. And you might have written love letters 30 years ago that could be discarded. Well, you can't, even if you delete text, there's a way to get those back.
It came out in court that the 37-year-old former teacher is still involved with the 18-year-old, although defense lawyer John Helbling had limited comment.
What they do on their own time, they're two adults. I have no control over that.
Brown remains free until sentencing. His lawyer also pointed out that the 18-year-old, who is the victim in the eyes of the law, was old enough, if she wanted to join the military and fight for her country. Now, ironically, if the 18-year-old was a student at a different school, no charges. But because they were at the same school where a teacher can have power over a student, grades, discipline, whatever, it's a crime. Back to you.
All right, Jeff Hirsh, thank you. And while Scarlet Oaks is in Hamilton County, the charges were actually filed in Claremont County because that's where the student lives and the sex happened at her house. Aaron Brown will be sentenced on March 25th.